What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful fight fans across the world? And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the UFC 310 picks. We're going to try to bang out all of these. We're going to try to get all of these right. We did pretty good on UFC 309, but I only did the main card because I was a sick boy off the antibiotics. But I basically got the whole main card right. Okay, the only fight I didn't get right on that one was the Ketlin Vieira fight. And who cares about that? Who cares, brother? But for this card, we're locked in. Okay, we're locked in. We're going to get these picks right. And yeah, we're not playing around. And it's not just going to be the main card for this one because some of the fights on the main card are worse than the fights on the prelims. And I already made a video about that some of you have already seen. So we're going to get into it right now. Okay, let's get into it right now. First fight, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. So Kai Asakura, this is his first fight in the UFC. He's going to fight for the flyweight belt. He's a former Ryzen bantamweight champion, so he's going to be coming down in weight. He's going to go out there, fight Pantoja. He's coming from Ryzen in the main event for the belt. First fight in the UFC. And what do I think? He's going to go out there and knock out Pantoja. Psych! You would have thought, buddy. You would have thought, buddy. Alexandre Pantoja is going to go out there and submit Kai Asakura in the second round, most likely. Okay, that's probably what I'm going to see happening. You know, Kai Asakura, I already talked about this in another video as well. And just the fact that he's coming from Ryzen, different rule set. He's not going to be used to the janky-majanky rules of the UFC. He's going to be bibbity-bobbity around the cage. We don't know. He got a good striking. He could knock out Pantoja. He would save the flyweight division if he knocked out Pantoja. I'll be rooting for Kai Asakura for sure. But I'm just thinking, man, you got to pick Pantoja for this fight. You just have to because, you know, you just got to, man. You cannot pick Kai Asakura. We haven't seen bro fight in the UFC. Maybe if he had one UFC fight, we could maybe pick Kai Asakura, but nah. I hope he goes out there and knocks out Pantoja, though. It would be amazing. It would be exhilarating, a good way to end the year with a great dethroning of Pantoja. But do I see it happening? Hell no. I see Pantoja just slugging it out for the first round, getting Kai Asakura down in the first round, gassing him out, and just subbing him in the first or second round. I feel like he's gonna get a quick submission on Kai Asakura, show that there's levels to the UFC and other organizations, because we've been seeing that lately with some fighters. Okay, but next fight on the list, the one we're really excited for, the one that could make or break my year, the one that could make or break if I'm alive after this Saturday. Okay, we got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary. Shavkat Rakhmonov, big favorite, minus 360, versus Ian Gary, both undefeated. Shavkat 18-0, all finishes. Ian Gary 15-0. This is a tough one, my boys. This is a tough one because Ian Gary could definitely go out there. And put a Jeff Neal type of performance on Shavkat. I can see that happening. But the only thing that I see that's going to be the difference in this fight is Shavkat's wrestling and his grappling. You know, his wrestling is kind of weak. His takedowns are a little weak. But when he gets you down to the ground, it's clipped from there, okay? His jiu-jitsu, he's the first guy to ever submit Wonderboy, okay? And we know their past. We know Ian Gary and Shavkat Rakhmonov have a past. And apparently Shavkat Rakhmonov has knocked out Ian Gary in the past. Apparently, this is all just jibber-jabber from Killcliff. Probably Gilbert Burns gossiping, you know. You cannot trust Gilby, okay? You cannot trust my boy Gilby. Because, you know, he be a little gossip. He's always with the gossip. But we going with Shavkat Rakhmonov, of course, okay? Insomnia MMA, we going with Shavkat Rakhmonov. We not messing around out here. We going with my boy Shiv Kid, okay? He's going to go out there and make all of us proud. He's going to go out there, finish Ian Gary, go 19-0, and go fight for the belt. Destroy Bilal Muhammad or whoever's there. Don't matter. Shavkat Rakhmonov coming for that belt. And Ian Gary's a stepping stone for that. And it's going to be a great win for Shavkat Rakhmonov's resume. But I could definitely see Ian Gary winning this too. I'm not going to lie. I could definitely see Ian Gary winning this too. But, you know, Ian Gary's chances to win this are on the feet, outpointing Shavkat. And I feel like that's just way less likely than Shavkat Rakhmonov. I feel like it's going to be a good fight. I feel like it's going to be a war. And I feel like Shavkat Rakhmonov, if it's a war, he's going to get the better of Ian Machado Gary. Every fight I see Ian Machado Gary in, I literally see his body deteriorating from being vegan. If Ian Gary wasn't vegan, I'll probably be more scared to pick Shavkat Rakhmonov. But I'm always picking Shavkat Rakhmonov on this channel. Okay, we not messing around. We not messing around. When you come to this channel, expect the Shavkat glaze. Expect all of that. Okay, because we're out here glazing Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he's gonna go out there and go 19-0 on Saturday. Okay, go 19-0 on Saturday and bring the W home. He's gonna bring the W home, make us all proud. I'm gonna be screaming like a little girl in front of all the friends, in front of all the hus. I don't care. Shavkat Rakhmonov's out here winning. That's all I care about. So that's my pick for the co-main event. I see maybe a third round submission for Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's my final prediction. Third round submission by Shavkat Rakhmonov. I feel like he's going to submit Ian Gary. I don't think he's going to TKO him. I think they're going to hurt. They might hurt each other. I feel like Shavkat's going to hurt Ian Gary, but I feel like he's going to submit him. I don't think he's going to TKO Ian Gary. But next fight on the list. Oh, what I'm scared about for that fight, though, is the ring rust. Shavkat Rakhmonov's last fight was a year ago. Ian Gary's been active. That's the only thing that scares me for that fight. But I feel like Shavkat's, he fights in there. He fights like a dog. So the ring rust is not going to affect him too much. But Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. So this is the second one of this, the second time these two guys are fighting. And I feel like it's going to play out like the first fight. Alexander Volkov is definitely better from the first time they fought, but they fight the same way. Ciryl Gane, Alexander, not the same way, but they stay out in range. They pick at you, and they just pick at you over 3 rounds. Alexander Volkov had an amazing performance against Sergey Pavlovich. I did not think he was going to win that fight, but he just kept him at range and had a beautiful performance. And I think that, even though he did that, even though he looked great, Ciryl Gane is just a master at that. He's just a master at keeping you at range and outpointing you. I feel like in the heavyweight division especially, he's just a master at that. I've just rewatched a lot of Ciryl Gane fights, and he's just a master at keeping you at range, outpointing you, making sure he secures the rounds. And I feel like it's going to be similar to their first fight. Maybe Alexander Volkov's going to do a little bit better. I feel like he should mix up the grappling, okay? I feel like he should if he wants to win this fight. I feel like he should mix in a couple of takedowns, try to get Ciryl Gane down, because we saw Ciryl Gane, his ground game is not all that, okay? It's not all that. It got exposed by Ngannou, got exposed by Jones. So I feel like Alexander Volkov's best shot is to take Ciryl Gane down and try to do something there. But playing the outside of the range point game with Ciryl Gane, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, I don't think that's a good idea. Ciryl Gane's a master at that, but hopefully Alexander Volkov gets a W, because we don't like Ciryl Gane out here, okay? We don't like Ciryl Gane out here. We don't like him, okay? Even though his fights are fun. I'll give him that. His fights are fun, and it would be a great win for Tommy Aspinall if Ciryl Gane does win. So either of these guys, whichever of them wins, I feel like it should be Ciryl Gane, though, so Tommy Aspinall can get a fresh W on his resume. But next fight on the list, Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Why the hell is this fight on the main card? I cannot get over this. Why is Kron Gracie fighting Bryce Mitchell? Why is he getting a ranked opponent? Bro lost to Charles Jourdain. Okay, let me stop crashing out. Who cares? The fight's going to happen. And I feel like Bryce Mitchell's going to win. But, the scary part about this fight is, if it hits the ground, Kron Gracie definitely has a chance. I mean, he's a Gracie, master at jiu-jitsu. Bryce Mitchell, he's a grappler. But I just trust in Bryce Mitchell, I just trust in him more. Maybe he won't even go to the ground with Kron Gracie. I don't feel like he has to. I feel like he can keep Kron Gracie on the feet and just beat him up. He's going to be having butt scooting around the cage. Maybe he's going to have a Bo Nickel type of performance on Kron Gracie. Maybe it might be a stinky but binky fight. But I feel like, even on the ground, I feel like Bryce Mitchell's stronger than Kron Gracie. Okay, I feel like he's definitely stronger than Kron Gracie. The only way that Bryce Mitchell loses this fight is if Kron Gracie catches him in a crazy submission. It could happen. It could definitely happen. But the Bronny James of the UFC is not going to pull it off. Okay, he's not going to pull off the Paul Craig. Bryce Mitchell's pulling this one off. Okay, I think by decision. I think that's the safer pick. I think Bryce Mitchell by decision is my final pick for that fight. And also, I had Ciryl Gane by decision if I didn't say that. But Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. This is going to be a banger. But I got to go with Nate the Train. Okay, I'm going with Nate the Train by KO. Maybe in the second round. I feel like Doo Ho Choi is going to do good in the first round. It's going to look great. And then Nate Landwehr, as he's going to build into the fight, and he's going to look better as the fight goes on. That's what I believe. And I feel like he's going to get a second or third round KO. Okay, but we're done with the main card. Let's get into the prelims, which are low-key better than the main card. Okay, Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. So Dominic Reyes is a plus 270 underdog right now to Anthony Smith's minus 340. I feel like Dominic Reyes is going to win this fight. Okay, I feel like Dominic Reyes, he may be on that losing streak, but he just knocked out Dustin Jacoby. That's a great win. Anthony Smith just lost to what's his name? Can't even remember bro's name. Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze sucks. And Anthony Smith lost a fight to Roman Dolidze on the feet. I feel like if this fight stays on the feet, Dominic Reyes would beat Anthony Smith. He's faster. He has more power. Anthony Smith don't got power on the feet like that for light heavyweight. I trust in Dominic Reyes. I believe in Dominic Reyes. And I feel like he's going to go out there and beat Anthony Smith. Lionheart. He's going to beat him. He's going to beat him. The comeback is here. The winning streak starts now. Okay, he just beat Dustin Jacoby. He's going to go out there, beat Anthony Smith. He's going to be on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's coming back for that belt. Okay, he's coming back for everything they took away from him. From the John Jones victory that they robbed away from him, he's coming back for it all. And the second step to coming back for it is beating Anthony Smith at UFC 310, which I believe in Dominic Reyes. I feel like he will do it. Okay, I feel like he'll do it probably more likely by decision than KO. I feel like Dominic Reyes has a better chance of hurting Anthony Smith than Anthony Smith has hurting Dominic Reyes. The only way Anthony Smith wins this fight is if he just grapples Dominic Reyes. But Dominic Reyes has some good takedown defense. Okay, he has some pretty decent takedown defense. And I feel like if this fight stays on the feet, it's going to look a little hairy for Lionheart. But that's my end pick for that fight. Dominic Reyes by decision. Next fight on the card, Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Big odds on Vicente Luque. I feel like, plus 470. Why not throw a couple dollars on that? But I probably am going to go with Vicente Luque, even though he's not the same fighter from before. But Themba Gorimbo, in his last couple of fights, it just doesn't look good. He did get that KO in 30 seconds, like 2 fights ago maybe. But other than that, he's just been having cuddle fest. It's just not been good. Clinch fest, not good, not looking good. And even if it becomes a clinch fest type of fight, I think Vicente Luque might get the better of that than Themba Gorimbo. The Rock bought you a house, bro. You got to go out there and get some highlights. Okay, you can't be out here clinching up Nico Price or whoever it was. Okay, I don't remember who it was right now, but it was like a Nico Price ad fighter, if you get what I'm saying. But Vicente Luque, I trust in him. I feel like he could go out there and KO Themba Gorimbo. But Vicente Luque, he's not the same fighter also. He has that brain hemorrhage. He's messed up. That really messed him up. Ever since then, he hasn't been the same. He's not really committing on them shots. He gives up a little easily, even though that's not the best thing to say about bro. But I've seen it. He gives up. He gave up in that Joaquin Buckley fight a little bit. Okay? But Vicente Luque, I'll probably go with him by decision on against Themba Gorimbo. Not on him down, but against Themba Gorimbo. I'll probably go with Vicente Luque by decision. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a stinky fight. I don't know. This one just smells like a little bit of a stink fest. But next fight on the card, Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. I feel like this is going to be a good fight. Even though both of these guys are boring. Boring plus boring makes exciting. Okay, sometimes. We might see the wrestling get absolutely mitigated. That's what we might see. We might see a complete stand-up fight between these two. And, Movsar Evloev has underrated stand-up. Aljamain Sterling could definitely go out there and win this fight. He has funky stand-up. He is the funk master. But Movsar Evloev has some good stand-up, too. He was doing good against he was doing decent against Diego Lopez. He was doing decent against Arnold Allen on the feet. He doesn't look terrible. Even though we all think of him as a crotch sniffer, as a takedown spammer, I feel like Movsar Evloev could go out there and put the business on Aljamain Sterling just with the striking alone. But we might see the lower weight class skill be in the favor of Aljamain Sterling. We might see go out there and piece up Movsar Evloev with them pillow punches. We might see it. And I feel like that's a possibility, but most likely I'm going Movsar Evloev by decision, of course. No, these guys aren't getting a finish. Okay, neither of these guys are getting the finish. This fight going to decision for sure. For sure. Put your money on decision. I mean, if this fight ends in a finish, this is why this is the best sport in the world. Okay, let me just say that. This is why this is the best sport in the world. But Movsar Evloev, I just believe in his stand-up more, his power more. I just believe in it more. And if it does go to the ground, I feel like Movsar will be stronger than Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling didn't even look that good against Calvin Kattar, even though he dominated most of that fight. He didn't look that good. He didn't have Calvin Kattar in any any position where Calvin Kattar could actually take a lot of damage. It was mostly just Aljo just ragdolling him most of the time. But I'm going with Movsar Evloev by decision, by outpiecing Aljo on the feet, outpowering Aljo on the feet. But last fight on the prelims, Bryan Battle versus Randy Brown. I feel like this is a hard fight to predict, because Randy Brown, he's a lanky boy. He's a lanky boy. Bryan Battle's lanky too, but not as lanky as Randy Brown. And I feel like Randy Brown could catch Bryan Battle at the end of one of these shots. Okay? Even though I'm probably going to pick Bryan Battle just because he has the momentum. He's probably more confident, more confident in himself right now. But Randy Brown, like a 1-2 down the pipe on Bryan Battle, might catch, bro. Might put him on skates. I feel like that could happen, but the underdog. Are we going with the underdog for this one? I feel like this is a good money to put some underdog on. Okay, Randy Brown's a good money. What am I saying? Randy Brown's a good pick, underdog pick to put some money on, because I can definitely see him getting the KO over Bryan Battle. Randy Brown has some clean striking. Okay, he has some clean striking, and even though Bryan Battle did look good in his last fight against Giuseppe, Giuseppe was kind of piecing him up a little bit at times, and then Bryan Battle he just rallied up a couple of shots, and that's how we finished the fight against Giuseppe. But I feel like Randy Brown, you can't get hit by those shots on Randy Brown. I want to pick Bryan Battle. I really want to. He's the favorite for this fight. Maybe the odds are seeing something. Yeah, I feel like Bryan Battle's a safer pick for this fight, but, Randy Brown's not a bad underdog pick right there. I feel like, maybe Randy Brown a little older, maybe that's why, but Bryan Battle. Okay, we going Bryan Battle. I don't know. This one might end in KO. Maybe a second round KO by Bryan Battle, just like the Giuseppe fight. I feel like Bryan Battle's going to go, both of these guys are going to go out there for the win bonus. So they're going to put on a performance. This card is going to be great. Okay, the card is going to be great. But let's get into the early prelims now. This video's mad long. Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Chris Weidman, do I believe in the 1-2 eye poke? Do I believe in the 1-2 eye poke? I don't. I feel like Eric Anders would win this fight, but Chris Weidman definitely has a chance. Don't bet on this fight, because it might go either way. Who knows? This fight already got canceled. It's happening again. Who knows what's going on with this fight? But this is one of those fights where you just gotta scratch your head and be like, I don't know. I feel like the safer pick is Eric Anders. Chris Weidman's a fossil at this point. They're gonna use him for gasoline at this point, but just go with Eric Anders, okay? I don't want to talk about this fight. Let's talk about a more exciting fight. Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. I'm a Joshua Van fan, okay? I love Joshua Van. He always loses the first round. Bro's going to lose the first round to Cody Durden, and then he's just going to rally up in that second and third round like bro always does. He's Joshua Van. Joshua Van in that first round, man. He's goes out there, loses that first round, comes back, and just puts a clinic on his opponents. That's how I see this fight going as well, because Joshua Van always does it. He's going to lose the first round to Cody Durden. And then the second and third round, he's going to start rallying up them shots. He's going to start piecing up Cody Durden with them beautiful boxing combos that he has. And probably win a decision over Cody Durden over 3 rounds. Okay, he's going to win the second and third round. Might even win the first round, but I doubt it, because bro always loses the first round. But that's how I see that fight going. Joshua Van by decision. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. I feel like Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa, he fought Tony Ferguson in his last fight. Come on, man. He subbed him. He did sub him in a round, but still, we got to go with Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa looking old. He fought Tony Ferguson. What can we really, make from that fight? We can't really, talk about it much. Can't really think about it much. We got to go with Max Griffin, because Michael Chiesa in his fights before that, not looking too good. Okay, not looking too good. You beat T-Ferg. Okay, you beat T-Ferg. Join the club at this point, bro. Join the club at this point. We're going with Max Griffin. Okay, Max Griffin. I don't know. Probably a boring decision, honestly. I don't see that fight being that exciting. But Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. This fight is going to be exciting. For sure. Clay Guida. I'm picking Chase Hooper by submission. By submission. I don't know by submission. I don't know, actually. Maybe Chase Hooper guillotine when Clay Guida shoots a takedown. I could definitely see that happening. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Chase Hooper by guillotine. Because Clay Guida be shooting them takedowns. Okay, he be shooting them takedowns. Clay Guida, he be going out there, biting down on the mouthpiece, just throwing them shots. He's going to shoot a takedown on Chase Hooper and get guillotined. That's how I see that fight going. Maybe even in the first round, this fight's going to be a good one. Both show. Chase Hooper and Clay Guida are both going to bring it. I'm excited to watch that one. The early prelims are exciting on this card. And I see Chase Hooper getting the submission over Clay Guida. Guillotine when he shoots in for the takedown. Lucas Brzezinski versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. I'm going with Kennedy Nzechukwu by KO in the second round. That's what I'm going with. Lucas Brzezinski not looking too hot in his last fights. Kennedy Nzechukwu, he fought Chris Barnett, I believe. That was his last fight. I might be mixing him up with somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it's Chris Barnett that he fought in their last fight. And you can't really make much off of that because Chris Barnett literally tore his quad, like, celebrating before the fight. But Kennedy Nzechukwu, he does have clean striking. He moved up from light heavyweight, I believe. And now in heavyweight, heavyweights are just not like that. They're just not like that. They don't got that skilly babilly. And Kennedy Nzechukwu going to put it on Lucas Brzezinski. Probably second round KO, maybe even first round KO. But those are my picks for UFC 310, the last pay-per-view of the year. I'm really excited. It's going to be a great card. And the early prelims, main card, all stacked. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov fighting. All my homies love Shavkat Rakhmonov. We're going to be praying for Shavkat Rakhmonov this Saturday. But that's it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm dropping videos like this almost every single day. We're gonna see how I do on these picks. I feel like I'm gonna do pretty good on this card. I don't know. I got a little feeling I'm gonna do pretty good on this card. But that's it for this video. And I'll see you, beautiful people, in the next one, man.